So let me challenge you with something that's not very popular in today's world. The more sexually promiscuous you are, the more you're going to pay the price in your future relationships, especially your marriage. What do I mean by that? Well, the Institute for Family Studies, there's a guy by the name of Nicholas Wolfganger, who's a sociologist at the University of Utah. He did a very intensive study, and when the research came back, he found that the people who had the most sexual encounters, the most sexual activity, the most partners, they by far had the least successful marriages. They had much higher divorce, and they had the least fulfilling marriages of those who stayed married. Now, you can get upset because a lot of people did, and a bunch of other institutions and universities did the same type of research, the same type of studies, only to find out that this completely is backed up. So when you think about why, when you have fewer partners, do you have a stronger marriage? Or why, if you have multiple partners, you have a weaker marriage and you're more likely to get divorced? And by that I mean, if you have more than 10 partners, you can almost guarantee that your future marriage will be very lackluster and very unfulfilling, and a much higher degree of divorce. And by that, if you follow that toll, if you have less than 10, those change. You have a slightly more fulfilling marriage and a slightly less probability of divorce, till you get to the point of those who only had sex with their spouse, meaning they were virgins when they got married. And those who were virgins when they got married had by far a higher degree of satisfaction in marriage, a much more satisfying sex life. And this isn't based on religion or personality or people's opinions. It's research. But why? Why? Why would this be? Let me give you one quick insight, and there are many. We won't even get into the biological reasons because those are a different story. But here's what they found. Someone that values commitment more than sex is going to live that out in their relationships. They value commitment more than they do sex. So look, there are a lot of people who want to find someone and they use sex. Wrong. If you want to find the right person, use commitment. See, commitment needs to be your enticement, not your sexual prowess or how you look or whether you'll put out or what you're willing to do or not do. That has no bearing whatsoever on future success in a relationship or fulfillment. If you're going to lure someone in with sex and no commitment, well, that's just bad poker, right? You've already shown them what it's about, which means if they find better sex somewhere else, they're going to leave you because it was based on sex. And if you're just having sex for a good time, understand that those consequences still play into your future relationship and your marriage. So when you're out there busting a move with a guy or a girl, the first few dates, all you've said is basically this: I want sex. Commitment probably isn't even on my list. I just want sex. And even if you think it is on their list, even if you think somewhere there's commitment, somewhere involved, you just proved it's not, because you use sex as the priority of your relationship for the testing ground. Will they sleep with me? Then I'll be interested in them. Not, will they commit? See, commitment, for it to mean anything, has to be proven. It has to be tested. It has to be tried. But when you sleep with someone at any point before marriage, you've made sex a priority and not commitment. And that's the difference. Now, what if it's too late? What if you say, Garth, I've already slept with one person or 20 people or who knows how many? Because that's what society tells me to do. That's what all the influencers on Instagram are doing. And I want to be an empowered woman. So I'm going to be willing to sleep with men the way they use women for years and years. Look, if it's too late, it's not too late. Let me tell you a story. There was a friend of mine. He'd been dating a girl and he thought, this is the one. She's the one. And he wanted to propose to her. And when I asked him why do you think this is the one? Why do you want to propose to her? He said, simple. He goes, I'll tell you the defining moment. We'd been dating about a month and I was trying to put the moves on her. He goes, I'll be honest. I was trying to get her to go to bed with me. And she said, no. She said, I won't go to bed with you. She said, I've been sexually promiscuous in the past, but I chose at one point to make a commitment that I will not use sex to prove myself to any man, but I'll use it as the celebration that he is into commitment, that he is into me, and not just sex. She basically said, if I have a man that is willing to commit to me outside of what he gets, I know he's into me and not just sex. I know he's going to be proven by commitment and not by whether or not I spread my legs. Sorry to be so crass, but that's the world we're in. And you can do the same. Have you been sexually active? Okay, probably most of us have. Just choose today to make commitment your calling card, your proving ground. And if you explain it to a guy or to a girl and he whines or bolts out of there, perfect, because he's proven that he or she is not after commitment, but they're just after sex. So, just something to chew on. Yeah, most people, they're sexually active before they get married. But again, research is research. Bottom line is this: the fewer people you sleep with, the happier you are, the more fulfilled you are, the stronger your marriage is, and far less likely for divorce. Hey, remember, love is a choice.